When he introduced the gun laws into Parliament, Police Minister Stuart Nash said that gun ownership in New Zealand is a privilege, not a right. And he says the law change represents a legacy to the 50 people who died in the mosque massacre. The key element is a ban on the ownership and sale of military-style semi-automatic weapons. However, the new law also bans the ownership of component parts, magazines and ammunition, which effectively blocks a loophole that the Christchurch shooter used to assemble and modify the weapons used in the attack. The new laws are expected to come into effect in 10 days' time, and there's going to be an amnesty which gives the owners of these weapons until September to hand them in. The government has allocated between $100 and $200 million for a buyback scheme at market prices, and the reason for the huge differences in the potential cost is that nobody really knows how many of these weapons exist in New Zealand. Maybe 15,000, maybe a whole lot more. The new legislation also includes tough new penalties, including a 7-year jail term for the possession of weapons in a public place and 5 years in prison for the illegal import or sale of these weapons. Now, the New Zealand gun lobby clearly isn't happy about the speed of the legislation, which allows for only 1 week of public consultations starting right now. Around 14,000 people have signed a petition asking for the government to slow down the consultation process, but that's unlikely to happen. The police say that more than 200 weapons have already been handed in, and another 900 people have applied to do so online. However, there is concern that the legislation will simply drive the ownership of these weapons underground. One of New Zealand's major gangs, called the Mongrel Mob, says it won't be handing over its weapons because it needs them to defend themselves against rival gangs. However, the government's talking tough, and it says the police will come after the gangs if they don't comply with the law. So it's going to be an interesting few months to see exactly how many of these weapons are handed in. Owen, CGTN, Auckland.